Hi everyone, Rivka Lambert-Adler here. I am the editor of 10 from the Nations, Torah Awakening Among Non-Jews, and also the director of Torah School for the Nations. And this is another video from Torah School for the Nations. Today I want to talk about mitzvot, divine commandments. Now I think that most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with the idea that in the first 5 books of the Bible, that God lays out 613 commandments, 613 divine rules for how to live that are incumbent upon the Jewish people. These are the shalls and shall nots, the do's and do nots, what we call the positive and negative mitzvot. And that's one way of looking at them. But the 613 are also divided into 3 categories, and I want to talk about that a little bit. The first category is called mishpatim, and mishpatim are the mitzvot that make sense to us. They are things that we might have come up with ourselves if we were designing an ideal society. Things like to give charity to somebody who is less fortunate than you, to avoid theft, to avoid murder. Those kinds of things fall in the category of mishpatim, of laws. The second category is called edot, and edot are remembrances or testimonials, things that we do, things that we're commanded to do that are remembrances of something that is in our past. For example, we keep Shabbat, we rest on Shabbat because God rested on Shabbat. That's obviously a very simplistic understanding, but it is one of the ways of understanding. We eat matzah on Pesach, on Passover, because of remembering the original Exodus from Egypt, the Yetziat Mitzrayim, and the matzah that was eaten at that time. Those would be examples of, among the 613 mitzvot that are spelled out in the first 5 books of the Bible, those would be examples of edot. But the third category, I think, is the most interesting of all, and that is what we call chukim. Chukim are those divine laws that God gave us that don't necessarily make sense to us. They aren't things that we easily understand how they create a more spiritual person, how they create a better society, how they improve life for us. I'll give you 2 examples. One is all of the laws of kashrut, all of the laws of, for example, separating between meat and milk, or avoiding pork, or avoiding shellfish. It's not immediately obvious to us why these are things that God commanded of us. The other example actually comes from this week's Parsha in chapter 19 of the book of Numbers, and that's the whole story of the red heifer, the red cow, and the ashes of the red cow. You should go and reread it if it's not familiar to you. This is an example of something from the category of chukim, a law that God gave us that really we can't even pretend to understand. Okay, so there you have it. You have 613 commandments, and you have 3 categories. Mishpatim, those laws that make sense to us that we might have come up with on our own, that God commanded of us. The edot, the things that we do in remembrance of something that happened in our history, something that happened in our past. And the chukim, which are the rules, the laws, the commandments, the mitzvot, that are the ones that tie us in some senses closest to Hashem. Why? Because we do them only out of a belief, not that we make sense out of it and we agree to do it because it makes sense to us, but out of a belief that God understands the spiritual realities better than we do, and if He commanded it, it must be good for us. So there you have it. Those are the 3 categories of the 613 mitzvot. I hope that you found this interesting or enlightening, something that you never heard before. And if you are interested in staying connected, you can like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also to be in touch with me, editor at 10fromthenations.com, editor at 10, T-E-N, 10fromthenations.com. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.